In today's media cycle, timing can be more powerful than truth. A quiet moment, a public absence, a single unexplained detail. That is all it takes. When those gaps appear around a well-known name, the internet rushes to fill them. Not with confirmation, with imagination. And imagination spreads faster than evidence. Jana Duggar's public profile has always been unusual compared to her siblings. She did not follow the same visible milestones. No televised courtship, no wedding special, no pregnancy announcements. Over time, that difference created tension in the public narrative. People began asking questions that were never answered. Then they stopped asking and started assuming. This is where the shift happens. Once assumptions harden, any rumor feels like confirmation. A medical emergency becomes plausible because it sounds dramatic. A DNA test feels believable because secrecy is assumed. A baby feels inevitable because expectations were never adjusted. But inevitability is not evidence. What many viewers forget is that public families are still made up of private individuals. Jana Duggar did not sign a contract promising disclosure of her body, her health, or her future. Yet the audience often behaves as if she did. When she does not perform transparency, suspicion fills the void. That suspicion is amplified by algorithms. Social platforms reward urgency. Content that suggests hidden danger or shocking truth performs better than calm clarification. A headline framed as a question travels farther than a statement grounded in fact. Viewers are pulled in by fear of missing something important. And that fear keeps the cycle alive. But here is the part most people don't see. Real investigative journalism slows things down. It verifies, it waits, it cross-checks sources. It does not rely on anonymous comments or recycled phrasing. In the case of these claims, no credible outlet has confirmed a birth. No medical authority has acknowledged an emergency. No legal source has referenced DNA proceedings. That silence is not accidental. Medical privacy laws are strict, but not absolute. High-profile emergencies often leak through indirect confirmation. A timeline, a court filing, a verified statement. None of those exist here. Instead, what exists is repetition. One channel cites another. One post mirrors the next. The origin disappears. That is a classic misinformation pattern. The Duggar family's past makes this even more complex. Public trust was broken before, so audiences feel justified in assuming secrecy now. But collective punishment is not accuracy. Past wrongdoing by one family member does not make every future rumor true. That distinction matters. It matters because stories like this do real damage. They reshape how people are seen. They attach narratives that cannot be easily removed. Once a rumor involves health or children, it becomes emotionally sticky. Even after debunking, the association lingers. And the subject rarely wins. For Jana Duggar, the cost of this speculation is not abstract. It means her name is now tied to claims she never addressed. It means strangers discuss her body, her choices, and her supposed emergencies as if they are public property. It means silence is treated as guilt instead of boundary. This is where everything changes. Because audiences are starting to ask different questions. Not just, is this true? But why do we want it to be true? Why does a woman living quietly provoke more interest than one making announcements? Why does deviation from expectation trigger suspicion instead of acceptance? These questions reveal more about the audience than the subject. And they point to a deeper issue inside viral news culture. Emotional payoff often outweighs ethical restraint. The shock of a claim becomes more valuable than the responsibility of verification. Content creators feel pressure to escalate or disappear. That pressure shapes what viewers see, but it does not shape reality. Reality moves slower. It requires confirmation. It resists dramatization. And when reality finally surfaces, it often looks less explosive than the rumors predicted. That is why restraint is not boring. It is necessary. If new information emerges, it should come from reliable sources. It should be presented with context. It should respect privacy while informing the public. Anything less is not news. It is performance. Most people don't know this yet, but credibility is built in the quiet moments, in the pauses between updates, in the refusal to speculate. Those choices determine whether an outlet informs or inflames. Right now, the responsible conclusion remains unchanged. There is no verified evidence of a new baby. There is no confirmed DNA test. There is no documented medical emergency. Until that changes, the story is not about what happened. It is about how quickly we believe what didn't. And that should give everyone pause. Thanks for watching. The internet did not wait for confirmation. It never does. Within hours, a single rumor turned into a wildfire of assumptions, thumbnails, and dramatic headlines. Jana Duggar's name was suddenly tied to claims that were not just surprising, but deeply serious. A new baby, a DNA test, a medical emergency. Each phrase carried weight. Together, they created a story that felt urgent, emotional, and dangerously convincing. But here is where everything slows down. Because when the noise fades, one truth remains clear. There is no verified evidence supporting these claims. No official announcement. No hospital confirmation. No legal documentation. No statement from Jana Duggar or her family. And that absence matters more than any viral post. Jana Duggar has always occupied a complicated space in public perception. As the oldest Duggar daughter, she was expected to follow a familiar path: marriage, children, a life shaped by constant motherhood. Viewers watched as her younger sisters stepped into that role one after another. Over time, expectations hardened into assumptions. So when Jana chose a different path, silence became suspicious. But silence is not proof. For years, Jana has lived under a microscope that rarely allowed neutrality. Every appearance, every absence, every choice has been interpreted instead of respected. In a family whose private truths were once hidden, the public learned to question everything. That history shaped how rumors now take root. And that is the danger. The current claims suggests something extreme: that Jana secretly gave birth, that a DNA test was required to determine paternity, that a medical emergency followed. These are not small rumors. They imply trauma, legal complexity, and serious health risks. But serious claims demand serious evidence. Medical emergencies do not disappear without a trace. Hospitals document admissions. Emergency procedures create records. Even with strict privacy laws, events of this magnitude leave footprints. Especially in families already known to media outlets, such incidents rarely remain invisible. Yet nothing concrete has surfaced. The DNA test claim raises even more red flags. DNA testing is not informal. It involves consent, laboratories, documentation, and often legal involvement. Suggesting such a process occurred without a single verifiable source is not reporting. It is speculation presented as certainty. And speculation spreads fast when curiosity meets expectation. Many people don't realize how repetition reshapes belief. When a claim appears across multiple platforms, the brain begins to register it as familiar. Familiarity becomes perceived truth. Headlines echo one another. Language gets recycled. Context disappears. Soon, people stop asking whether something is confirmed. They only ask why it was hidden. But that question assumes something exists to hide. At this point, the only confirmed reality is silence. Jana Duggar has not spoken publicly about childbirth. She has not announced a baby. She has not acknowledged a DNA test. She has not disclosed a medical emergency related to pregnancy. That does not mean she owes the public an explanation. Privacy is not a scandal. This situation highlights a larger issue that goes far beyond one family. Women's bodies are treated as public property. Deviations from expected life paths are met with suspicion. Choosing not to share becomes an invitation for others to invent. And the more famous the family, the less grace is offered. The Duggar name complicates everything. Past failures within the family created justified skepticism. But applying that skepticism universally removes individual agency. It suggests no one can change. No one can choose differently. No one can live quietly without being accused of hiding something. That mindset is unfair, and it is dangerous, because misinformation doesn't just mislead, it harms. It shapes public opinion before facts exist. It pressures individuals into responding to claims they never made. It turns personal boundaries into targets. And once a narrative solidifies online, correcting it becomes nearly impossible. This is why responsible reporting matters now more than ever. A real medical emergency would eventually be confirmed through reliable channels. A real birth would leave legal records. A real DNA test would involve documented processes. None of those elements are present today. Until they are, restraint is the only ethical response. Stay critical. Ask where the information came from. Notice when headlines rely on emotion instead of evidence, because attention does not equal accuracy. The story did not grow because of facts. It grew because of timing.